Welcome to Reality with Kiki. I'm your host, Kiki, and on this channel, we discuss reality TV, celebrity gossip, and viral topics. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you like our content. You can also follow us on our Facebook page. A link will be in the description box below, and we also have it linked in our bio. All right, so marriage boot camp hip hop edition. All right, so we start this episode off. They kind of boiled over from what was happening at the end of the episode last week. So they're still talking about Molly making the gay jokes towards Brock, and Molly is talking to Tough, and he's like, "Oh yeah, he pulls whatever type of car whenever he feels some type of way," and it's just like, no, he said he felt uncomfortable by you making those jokes, and you should just stop. So anyway, moving on. It's the next morning, and they wake up. Treasure comes downstairs, and Amber's like, "Oh, you look cute." The outfit wasn't doing it for me. It had all these cutouts in it. Like, I don't know where you would wear something like that, but I wouldn't wear it there. So anyway, after everything that happened the previous night, Molly comes downstairs sitting at the table while Brock is next to Amber and is just like, "Oh yeah, Amber, if you ever want to track, you're a talented artist. Like, I got you." After all of that, y'all been sitting there or at this house all this while, and you ain't never say nothing to her.
The moment you get into it with Brock, you making offers.
And Brock is just like, no, he's not accepting of that. He said it in his confessional. But meanwhile, Amber's over there smiling like, yeah, and like just, excited that he's saying he want to do a track with her. And it just seems like there is some malicious intent behind that. So next they start with a competition for the morning. And the competition is they're supposed to come up with some sexy routine or whatever with their partner, but then they put a twist to it and they start mixing the partners, right? So I'm like, all right, we know that y'all be watching them in the house or whatever. Y'all shady because the first matchup they do is Amber with Molly. I'm like, nah, y'all doing this on purpose. I thought y'all supposed to be helping couples stay together. It sounds like and it looks like you're trying to break them apart. So basically, they're just flip flopping with the couple. So Amber's with Molly. Treasure is gonna be with Brock. So they like, whoa, the most extra couples in this house are switching, and it's probably about to be a mess. Like, they probably gonna be competitive with the twerking and the dancing and all of that, trying to make their other partners jealous. So then they switched Neri and Nori. So Neri went with Tough. Moni went with Nori. And they have to do the same exact routines that they were practicing with their partners. So it's a little bit awkward. And Nori's like, "Oh, nobody gonna be touching on my wife or whatever, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, boy, don't nobody want your wife. Your wife is corny, please. So the couples are practicing. And I know Treasure used to be a performer, but she on the floor like she is in the middle of Magic City, like shaking ass, doing all of that. Lap dancing on Brock, like, okay. So the other couple split off into the house or whatever to practice or relax and do whatever. And Nori is like feeling some type of way. He getting jealous. Neri and Tough not even doing nothing. And she like trying to tell me that he doing too much. I'm like, Nori, are you trying to have a moment? What's going on? So next thing you know, Nori and Tough are outside watching Brock and Treasure practice. And they pretty much are trying to tell them like you're doing too much. It's going to be a problem when your partners see this. And Brock is like, is this a competition or not? And Nori like, I watched the show. This is a test. Like, you're doing too much. All right, so now we have a new scene. So going back to Nori and Tuff being outside, Nori left Neri upstairs after he was getting jealous. He was like, I'll be back real quick, 10 minutes, whatever. So now fast forward, everybody's in the house kind of lounging around. Neri comes downstairs and she's like, you never came back and checked on me. And he like, oh, I didn't. And she was like, no. Like, and so she in front of other people. I'm like, this is interesting because y'all been pretty surface level, not really letting anybody know your tea. So she's like, yeah, why didn't you come back and check on me or whatever? And he was like, oh, you needed help with something? She was like, do I look like I need help with something? I was like, oh. And then Molly butts in is just like, I think the problem with them is that they're both passive aggressive. And I'm like, you finally saying something smart. I might have to agree with that. So then Brock and Amber are sitting together, and Brock tries to like ask Neri if she wanted something, and Nori is like, Button is like, oh, let's do one conversation at a time. We start over here, then we come over there, or whatever. Like, she can't speak for herself. Why do you need to be in a conversation where Neri is? She's a grown woman. So Neri decides to speak up, saying that she feels a little bit uncomfortable, even though Tough is a nice guy. She feels uncomfortable because with him holding her because that's not her husband. Is disrespectful to her husband. So Dr. Ish says there is a reason for everything that we do. You need to trust the process. She's like, okay, I'm not going to argue with that. And then he tells the couples, go upstairs, get dressed, wear something sexy so we can shoot these videos. So Treasure, Brock, Molly, Amber all go upstairs to pick out their outfits. Brock and Treasure are getting dressed for their performance. Brock tells Treasure to practice on him. Here comes Amber and Molly, coincidentally, and they see them practicing. So Amber's like, oh, all that ass and blah, blah, blah. Right? So Molly's like, all right, come on, or whatever. So they about to walk out, and then Amber turns around and starts turning up. She's like, you look stupid. You look stupid. Putting her hand in Brock's face. Put like literally putting her hand on his face. He starts biting her hand or acting like he's gonna bite her hand. She's yelling at him, telling him to get out, put your hands on me so you could go home. And it's like, how many moments are you gonna try to have here? Because you were just okay, but then you want to turn around and turn up because you knew that the cameras would rush in there to try to capture another argument from you. Girl, you gotta make this make sense. It's not making sense right now. Okay, so Treasure and Brock are downstairs explaining to Nori what just happened, what the blow up was about. And Amber decides to come downstairs. Molly comes downstairs as well. Amber's going off like, no, no, that was crazy. That was disrespectful. Blah, 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 blah. Going off again. She's riding you. Blah, blah, blah. So then Molly is like, it's all right. I'm not even concerned about it. I'm not concerned about it. I don't care. You're not even worth it. Talking to Treasure, you're not even worth being stressed over. I got boss bees waiting for me at home. I ain't worried about no thought. And it's just like, he's so disrespectful to her. And she's like, I don't even understand why he feels this way about me. And it's like, girl, you need to cut him off completely because the things that come out his mouth, like I said from the beginning, he was just like saying disparaging things to her. And it's like, you deserve better. It doesn't matter what somebody thinks about you, what one person thinks about you. Like, nobody deserves to be degraded the way that he degrades her. So then they go outside because they're now preparing to do their little couple dances or whatever. And the ratchet couples, Molly, Treasure, Amber, Brock, all start arguing. And Judge Lynn Toller starts going off because she's just like, we show y'all respect. Y'all need to show us respect. And also, just like, people are tired of hearing y'all argue. It's always about nonsense. It's nothing significant that you're arguing about. So then, after she gets them settled down, they have a discussion. Everybody sits down. Dr. Ish and Lynn Toller are like, if they switch up their routines from what they were practicing, you pretty much lose points for that. So they start with Nori and Moni. They do some whack dance. It wasn't sexy at all. Moni was dressed in like oversized clothes anyway. It was a hot mess. um Neri and Tough do their thing. Um it started off okay, but then they took out some moves because Nori was uncomfortable. The whole time they were dancing, he was just sitting there looking like mad nervous, like something crazy was gonna happen. I'm just like, you need to relax. Like, are you just not used to anybody looking at your wife? Like, I don't understand. So then they go to Brock and Treasure. And they pretty much switch up their whole routine. They don't do any of the little sexy stripper dance moves that they were gonna do. There was no lap dance, and they were like, "Oh, because they want to have respect for their partners." And Amber blurts out, "Oh, it don't even matter. We done seen everything as it is. We already seen everything, so it don't matter." So then they all start arguing again. The grandparents of the group are just sitting there like, "Are you kidding? Here we go again." All right, so last Molly and Amber go. And they go all the way full out. Amber looks more like a dancer than Treasure did. And Treasure got all the experience in the club. She was twerking on Molly. She was twerking in a handstand, like doing the whole nine. So Brock and Treasure is looking like, oh wow, like that's crazy. So that ends that competition. And Dr. Ish was basically saying like the purpose of this exercise was because of the industry that you guys are in, you're going to be put in positions where you are uncomfortable or your partner is uncomfortable or for example, you doing a music video and this girl's dancing or whoever dancing or your girl got to dance with somebody else. And I'm like, I guess this was like the interesting part of this show because a lot of the times when they are starting these exercises, I'm like, what is the purpose? Because you notice it's going to cause disruption, but then they explain it. It's like, okay, that makes sense. So Judge Lynn Toller and Dr. Ish were kind of like asking them, like, what didn't they like about what happened today? They were going around. So Tough is like, his is what stood out to me. Tough is like, oh, because I was touching on my man's woman, like, that's man's law, like you don't do that, whatever, blah blah blah. So Judge told her like, but you ain't have no problem touching other women, like it's no problem when it's then. And she was like, he was like, oh, I don't make the house rules or whatever. She said it's not about the house rules, you follow whatever rules you want to. And I was like, exactly, you don't got no problem cheating on your woman and cheating with other women, but now you feel uncomfortable because your man's woman, you gotta do a little dance with her. And then so Dr. Ish got deep with Nori again, and he was kind of understanding. He was crying because he's insecure about his wife leaving him or whatever. And then they choose a winner. Of course, Amber and Molly win because they performed what they practiced and they went all out. Everybody else was playing it safe and being scared. And so they won the competition, got some ice cream. Treasure and Molly start arguing because she's like, you made me feel inadequate because you had something to say when I was performing. He's like, oh, she made me look bad. It was just like a whole bunch of nonsense. It's just like, again, like them and Amber and Brock, it's just like they don't never stop. Every day, y'all arguing. And I just feel like, is it because y'all are toxic or is it because y'all really are not couples? Like, what is the purpose? And y'all just acting and putting on a performance. I don't know. But you guys can let me know what you think about this episode in the comments below. And I will talk to you next time.